Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. Unfortunately, I've not really been posting much. I have been doing a few streams that a few of you have been joining. It'd be nice to see a few more of you on there. But I've been relatively busy. I've got a new laptop, which means I should be able to output a few more videos a bit quicker. But other than that, I've been away in Milan, Italy. Probably by you can tell by this title of the video, that I've been at the Museum of Ferrari and at the Alfa Romeo Museum. So let's jump straight into it. And we're going to start off with the Ferrari Museum, or Museo Ferrari. So this is the Ferrari 250 LM 1963 car. Now, this car was basically made for Le Mans to replace the legendary 250 GTO as a model for race driver clients. So there were two that were actually transformed and built for road use. The car shown here is one of the two that was transformed for that particular thing. Here you can see the Ferrari 812 Superfast, the chassis and body shell. The car that is to the right of it is fully made and ready for road use, but for for reasons I can't quite remember, I didn't actually take a photo of that, which was a bit stupid of me. But it is a very nice car regardless. The next car is the GTO. I do like this car quite a bit. It was made in 1984 and has a V8, produces 400 horsepower. It's 0 to 100 kilometers because we're in Italy, so it's not mile per hours, and 0 to 60 is 4.9. And its maximum speed is 305 kilometers per hour. Now, this is the F40 made in 1987. It has a V8 bi-turbo producing 478 horsepower. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 4.1 seconds and top speed of 324 kilometers per hour. I do like this car quite a lot. I do very much enjoy looking at it as well. On to the next one then. This is the F50. Now, I'm not a fond lover of this car, but when I did see it in real life in this colour, it did look amazing. In 1995 it was produced, and it has a V12 which produces 520 horsepower. Its 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 3.87 seconds, and its maximum speed is 325 kilometers per hour. And this is the F50 engine, which was mounted in the middle of the car. This is the Enzo Ferrari. Now, I have a very fond relationship with this car, sharing the same name as it, so it does make it especially one of my favourites. Made in 2002, it's got a V12 engine, and it's got 660 horsepower. Its 0 to 100 is 3.65 seconds. That is blistering. And maximum speed of 350 kilometers per hour. That is fast for 2002 for a road car. Very nice indeed. Now, this is the engine that comes in the Enzo Ferrari. It comes straight from the F1, and that would have been the same year. So the 2002 Michael Schumacher Ferrari would be the same replica engine. Is absolutely amazing. Also comes with the same gearbox. Now this is the Laferrari Ferrari, or known in English, the Ferrari, made in 2013. It has a V12 plus hypercars, which means it can use battery where it loses energy in braking. It converts that into more horsepower, and the power output of that is 800 horsepower, and plus hypercars is an extra 163 horsepower. That is amazing. With a 0 to 100 is less than 3 seconds, and its maximum speed is more than 350 kilometers per hour. Next up is the Laferrari's younger brother, the FXXK Evo. This was produced in 2017 with a V12 engine and 1050 horsepower. That is absolutely amazing. It doesn't give the gearbox or the maximum speed of the car. I don't know if they don't know it or they're just not displaying that information. Either way, this car is absolutely beautiful. This next car is valued very highly by Ferrari. It's the F12 Tour de France. It is the pinnacle of what they think the F12 can achieve. That is why it's called the Tour de France edition. It also pays homage to the Le Mans, as they've only made 799 cars. It was produced in 2017. It has a V12 engine in it. The power of the car is 780 horsepower. That is quite a lot for a car like this. The gearbox is a 7-speed, and the maximum speed of the car is 340 kilometers per hour. That is fast. Here we've got some things we saw on the wall, a few brakes and brake calipers, and some wheels that we've got there. Very nice design on them. The brakes are absolutely massive, and they have to be able to stop the car without getting far too hot. This is the P80 Concept car. This was made in 2019, or they thought of it in 2019. It should have a V8 in when they complete it. The displacement of the car is 3,902 cc. Now, they don't post or display the power, the 0 to 100, or the maximum speed. Now, this may be because they don't want to share their secrets, or because it is a concept car, so they just don't know. The car's never been made, they've never run it. This is the Ferrari 150 LM. It is a prototype car, so there is not a lot on display here, and it's not actually owned by Ferrari. It's owned by one of their very loyal and fortunate Ferrari clients. That's why it's so secret, and they're not given any of the power or the engine or the gearbox used in this car. All we really have are these stunning visuals of this rear wing and amazing aerodynamics. This here is the Ferrari 3.2 Gt Carbaryletti. Don't know if I've butchered the name there. This car is very special though, because of its history. It is the Pope's car. The Pope John Paul II decided he'd like to meet Enzo Ferrari and do a few laps around the famous circuit that is at Modena. And this is the car that he went round in, driven by Enzo's son, Piero Ferrari. So we've got here part of one of Michael Schumacher's car. I don't know which one it is, but it is the engine cover and just looked brilliant, so I had to add that to this collage. Next we have a short video of all of the Ferraris that have ever raced in F1, accompanied with all of their driver names from 1950 to present, and I'm sure they're going to add plenty of more. And then we've got the trophy room above that, and it's not all of their trophies, but it's quite a few of them, and that stretches all the way down. We then got all of the champions they've ever had through the years, Starting off with Alberto Ascari. He won in 1952 and 1953 and got the Monza chicane is also named after him for his brilliant feats at Ferrari. Then we've got Juan Manuel Fangio, who won in 1956, and also Mike Hawthorne, who won in 1958, Phil Hill, who won in 61, John Surtees won in 64, Niki Lauda in 75 and 77, Jody Scheckter, who won in 79, and Michael Schumacher, who won the most championships at Ferrari, which grand total 5 through 2000 all the way to 2004. And then we have Ferrari's latest championship winner, Kimi Raikkonen, in 2007. Here we have the F1 126CX, which was piloted by Gilles Villeneuve, and it gave Ferrari their first win at Monaco. This car was made in 1980 with a V6 engine. It produced 540 horsepower. The next car is the F310, which marked Michael Schumacher's arrival at Scuderia Ferrari in 1996. The car had a V10 engine and had 715 horsepower with a 6-speed gearbox. Is the F399. In 1999 it had an engine of a V10 and had 790 horsepower. It did help Ferrari win the Constructors' Championship, but it didn't manage to get a Drivers' Championship. This is the F1 2000, marking the first of 5 Schumacher Driver World Championship titles, including Constructors. This had a V10 engine and 805 horsepower. This next one is the F2001. With a V10 engine and 825 horsepower, Michael Schumacher took another Drivers' World Championship and managed to wrap it up with 4 races still to go. The F2002. This is really where Ferrari started to dominate Formula 1. With a V10 engine again with 835 horsepower, Barrichello and Schumacher were able to win 15 out of the 17 races, 9 1-2 finishes and 10 pole positions. This is the F2004, a very powerful weapon in its time and in F1 overall. It had a V10 engine that produced 865 horsepower. It helped Schumacher winning 13 races plus another 2 for Barrichello and 6 consecutive wins. And he won the Constructors' Championship at the French Grand Prix. And the opposition only took 3 wins out of the 18 races. Here is the F2007 with a V8 engine and 620 horsepower. This helped Kimi Raikkonen win his first and Ferrari's last Drivers' World title, and he won it only by 1 point. This is the Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 Spider Corsa. It was the first to wear an emblem of Ferrari Scuderia, making its official debut at the 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium on July 9th, 1932. It has an 8 inline cylinder which produced 165 horsepower in a 4-speed gearbox, reaching top speeds of 215 kilometers per hour. Here are 2 other old Ferrari race cars, accompanied by the 1932 Brugge 500 Tt Replica. Ferrari entered the 250, 350 and 500cc motorcycle races in Italy. They won 44 of these races. Now the Brugge was made with a single-cylinder engine and a 4-speed gearbox, having a top speed of 160 kilometers per hour. This here is probably my favourite racing Ferrari, the Ferrari 330 P4. Its greatest feat was at the 24 Hours of Daytona, where all three cars finished side by side, claiming a 1-2-3. Its manufacturing year was 1967 and had a V12 engine. It had 450 horsepower and its maximum speed was 320 kilometers per hour. This here is a 430 scuderia, which means it's been specially adapted to produce more power and make it even faster. This is the 412 T2 Scuderia Ferrari Formula 1 car that was piloted by Gerhard Berger. This is the SF71H. In 2018, Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel would have driven this in the Formula 1 World Championship. Here we are driving past the main Ferrari offices where the big decisions happen. This is the Ferrari 410 SA, made in 1956 with V12. It produces 360 horsepower with a 4-speed gearbox and with a top speed of 260 kilometers per hour. This is the Ferrari 250 GT Competizione. That's very hard to say, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Made in 1956 with a V12, it produces 260 horsepower with a 4-speed gearbox and a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. Here is another make of the same car, the 250 Gt Carbaryletti. I probably butchered the name on that one as well. This one was made in 1959. And is just a convertible version of the last car. Here's another version, and out of all of them, this one is my favourite. The 250 GT SWB Competizione, made in 1959 with a V12, 4-speed gearbox and 280 horsepower. Making the top speed 270 kilometers per hour, and it looks absolutely beautiful, especially with the Italian flag down the middle. This is the Ferrari 512BB. This car is one of my favorites once again. It's got pop-up headlights, making it even more amazing. I love the shape of this car, especially in that color as well. Just looks beautiful. This is the Ferrari 275 GTB4, made in 1966 with a V12, 300 horsepower with a 5-speed gearbox going 260 kilometers an hour at top speed. This is the Ferrari 275P, with an astonishing top speed of 290 kilometers per hour for 1964 when it was produced. This is the shell of the 1953 Ferrari 500 Mondale body buck, so you can really see how they make the shell of the car. Here we have the Ferrari Dino 246 GTS, a lovely looking car, especially in the baby blue. Made in 1969 with a 5-speed gearbox and a V6, producing 195 horsepower, going at top speed 245 kilometers per hour. Now another absolute classic, the Ferrari 365 GTB4 Daytona, made in 1968 with a V12 engine, making 352 horsepower and a 5-speed gearbox. At top speed, it can go 280 kilometers per hour. This is a Ferrari with a very unique livery, the 123 Ferrari 375mm, made in This is the Ferrari 208 GTB Turbo, so even faster than the original one. Made in 1982, we're now into more modern Ferrari cars. Now here's one clearly made for racing with the number 2 on it. Ferrari 308 GTS, made in 1975. Here you can see the Laferrari Hypercars engine and how it works. On this wall here is every model of Ferrari that has ever been made, and next to it is a quote from Enzo Ferrari that says, "The best Ferrari ever built is the next one." Then we go into Enzo Ferrari's actual house. This was his first house, and inside it they've changed it a bit, and they've got an F40 here, Ferrari F12, and his office, and there's a picture of his glasses. This is the end of the tour around the 2 Ferrari museums pretty much, and because this has taken such a long time, more than I expected, I'm gonna make it into 2 different videos. So this will be the Ferrari video, and the next one will be the Alfa Romeo video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with the Alfa Romeo video very soon.